Right, I believe that is us live. Let's announce it. Right, there's a link. There we are. Send that out. Let's do the same on socials. let's get on with it. See what we got here. So those have been wiped out. Bosh. These are still valid. Adelaine, hope you're well. Good morning to you. Yeah, the weekend's been nice. How about yours? Just marking out our sessions here. There's those. So we actually surpassed these highs that were mentioned on Friday. You've got this one that's yet to be broken, which is pretty local. But the previous highs here were broken in the Asian session, which is interesting. I'd say these are all pretty close. Next up, I mean, there's that Tokyo session, but pretty similar level. And then I'd say we've got this liquidity level there. Morning CM, hope you're well. Morning Rio. Nice weekend, but missed the charts. Yeah, mate. Yeah, it gets like that. Gets like that when you enjoy trading. But yeah, just take your time off for granted. You've always got back testing if you're missing it. So market open, we saw a gap up, which did get filled immediately with that wick. So not something that we need to worry about. It's not acting as a gap because it's been filled. Maybe price will come and retest it. But not as significant if it was still a gap. So there's our session ranges. That's what we're immediately looking at right now. London is taking out this low as we speak. We've got a nice reaction from that higher. Got the EMA rejection on the 5 minute once, twice, but we've not really got a wave structure in order for us to short that. Let me make a comment. See if that's the case on GU. GU, we've got a better wave structure, but still coming in that sweep. We've had the sweep and now we've changed character higher, so I want to see another break below that to confirm that bias. I have, mate. I was, funny you say that, I was just about to say if I sound bunged up or mute the mic to blow my nose. I don't think it's cold, I think it's like sinusitis. I think my sinuses are all fucked. So yeah, I might sound a little bit different than usual. But still headstrong, I'm not ill. I'm just blocked up. I don't get ill. That's what you got to tell yourself. I think everyone's fucking ill at the moment. I don't know what it is. Everyone I speak to, oh, I'm ill this week. I hope we've not got another schmepidemic. Yeah, it's made its way to Thailand somehow, mate. But no, I don't think it's a cold, because I don't actually feel bad. I'm just blocked. Got liquidity there. Session range. How about you though, mate? Have you got it? Are you will at the minute as well? Wonder if I can group these and then drag them. Nope. That would have been cool, but let's move further out. Nothing immediately to trade right now, I don't think. We've swept the Asian low, so don't want to trade it lower without a break of this, ideally. Otherwise you'd be looking to sell that lower, but I'm not going to sell that lower when we've swept and changed character higher. Could even look for longs on GU, to be fair, because we have this change of character. That's gone lower, change character higher. We've got some fair value here. Could look for that to retap. Stops down there, TP up here. Could be an idea that we look for. The only thing is, this Asian range isn't really a consolidating one. It's kind of got a direction to it. So 47 pip Asian range, nah, I wouldn't even look to trade that on the sweep. When it comes to the Asian range sweep, what we want to see is an Asian range that looks something like this, where it's like it's created a high, it's created a low, and then it's kind of just waiting for London to sweep one side out and then go to the other. Whereas when you have an Asian session range that just looks like this and is just clearly directional, it's not really printing that same schematic where it's generating liquidity to get swept. So here you can see this is an Asian session that is just purely directional. So those ones I don't like trading the Asian session sweep of. That being said, it is still a risk. You can't ignore it. It is still a risk that this is now a change of character. Could come and sweep it higher. Could very well be the idea that we are now just trading lower. Price is refilling this fair value and pushing lower. Saying that, we've got an inverse fair value gap there now that that's closed. Either way, it's a little bit mixed messages. So what I want to see is a break of structure of that to the downside, or I guess it'd be break of substructure now because it's already broke this previous structure. I want to see that break to the downside if we're going to continue looking for sells. So call that substructure. And in order for this move to push higher, I guess I need to see it break above that EMA comfortably anyway. Which it is doing on the 2 minute. So yeah, I guess we watch this on the 2 minute for now. See what happens. Check EU. Still below it. So yeah, GU's more active right now. Morning, Joe. Hope you're well. Yeah, Rio, that's the one. I'm not feeling ill. I'm just bunged up. I'm just clogged. It's fucking annoying, isn't it? I feel like that today. I feel like I've swallowed glass. Fucking hell, everyone's out, aren't they? So much happening. So if we see this get used as support again, then we'll look for this to trade from. So we just got to wait to see if that prints. We have swept the Asian low and got to change the character higher, but since the Asian range was so directional and like 47 pips, I'm not looking to trade the sweep from that. For reasons previously explained. So if you want that explanation, just give it a rewind. Am I back in the UK? No, I'm not, mate. I'm over in Thailand still. I'm in Phuket. Got a condo here. So this is where I'm based. And then the airport here is pretty handy. So got this as my nice little central hub. And then I'll fly out every so often. But yeah, mate, illness has made it all the way over here. Okay, while we wait for this, I'm going to check out what we're looking at on a day perspective. GU and EU. So we've still got this running. This is breaking higher and higher now, so that's nice. Reanalyze this position. So we've been looking for EU and GU to pull back somewhat so that we can actually stack positions higher. So like when this happened, we would have rather price came down back here so we could buy again and then go higher, but it's just been too bullish and it keeps pushing higher and higher and higher. So I'll move this to one side and we'll reanalyze what's going on. So obviously we caught along here, price push higher and higher and higher. We then had this consolidation. So what happened here, this price boxed in, we had this triple top, triple bottom, 1, 2, 3. Price here basically engineered some liquidity off of this low, and this low. Faked that it was going to break out to the downside, push lower, didn't. What it actually did is just generate some liquidity off of these lows to push price higher, which is nice. So now price actually broke out of that structure. So we had this triple top, broke out above. We've now retested that, used it as support and pushed higher, and now again we're coming back to retest it once more. So that's what we're currently seeing on the pound right now. We do have this break of structure that we pointed out. So that broke higher like that. Let's see what time frame we'll say that's valid on. It is kind of 4-hour structure, but I see it more prevalent on the 1 hour. So if this is a 1 hour break of structure, we can look at a correction on the 15-minute, which was this corrective structure there like that. So let's make this purple so that we don't get it confused with the other analysis. This should be a parallel channel. Yeah, perfect, just like that. And now we're actually retesting this previous resistance as new support to push higher. So yeah, pretty easy to read structure on the pound at the moment, on the 4 hour, the 1 hour and the 15-minute. That being said, if this is our break of structure and this is our break of substructure, what we could actually look for as a daily move on the pound is fib from this low to this high and look to actually trade it from these fib levels. So we've got London open here. We could have actually took that as a long from there and stacked on the daily perspective higher like that. And that's a nice 6R. We haven't done that because I don't usually trade bang on London open. I wait for it to play out a little bit like this, trade it intraday, but it's not too late. Okay, we can always wait for that to retrace. We've got a fair value on the 15-minute there that could get refilled. So I might just do that exact thing. So we've got a fair value gap there. Can look for that to retap. Stops beneath the low. TP's up to the high, and that's still a nice 3.6 with confirmation from that level. So this is a valid trade. You could try trade the, if you want to be greedy, you could try trade the like midpoint of the fair value gap, as well as this order block down there if you really want to. I think I might trade the midpoint of that fair value gap and be a little bit greedier to get a better position. There isn't really any psych levels in between that. So we'll go somewhere like there, give us a 4.1. Or actually I'll just go for a 4. Tap my entry up. Yeah, that'll be alright. TP1. There. TP2. There. TP3. There. Just like that. So basically, we had some form of consolidation, manipulation, expansion, This is a correction. We broke out of that correction, retesting it and pushing higher. So this is a valid trade. For R. Am I trading AMD? I'm not trading AMD. I'm just recognizing that it is there. I never like trading price when it's this high. I like buying at the very bottom, pushing higher. I don't really like continuing trends like this, but we're on the 15-minute, so we have had that correction. So here you can see an A, B, C correction. Prices broke higher, and then this would be the start of that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 higher, following Elliott wave principles. So this is more of a day trade. $23 pip stop. There we go. Coming to entry now. We price it up, 22.7 pips. My spread at the minute is about 3 ticks. See what reaction we get there. Just pricing it up for myself at the minute. Right, let's send it out to the VIP. So this is a pound long. Entry. There. SL. There. TP1. TP2. TP3. 3. 2. 1. Risk reward on this is a 3.99. Do you think that will retap and go higher? Well, there you go, that's a valid trade to start off our London session. Intraday, this hasn't held as support. We broke beneath that. Okay, so we're not looking to long that right now. If we want the sell side scenario, we want this to break, preferably the actual wick low as well, and then come back up, resistance short to the downside as well. Notice this is on the pound as well, so I'm actually looking for pound to go long on a day trading, swing trading perspective, but my intraday is telling me shorts. That's because it's two completely separate strategies. If I do have that scenario, it's not even a bad thing to be short intraday and then long day trading, as you guys have seen many a time before. If you're inside the VIP, it actually provides you with quite a nice hedge, and a lot of the times it creates a scenario where it doesn't matter which way the pound will move. You're now in a very probabilistic scenario where you're just going to make money either way. One of them will get stopped, the other one will make profit. Overall net result is positive. So we'll see what happens if we do get a hedge today. If not, it's not bad either way. It's a great scenario to be in overall. I'm feeling to stay in Bali, Thailand when I travel in July. Yeah, just check the weather, mate, because the seasons here are really weird when it comes to like wet season, dry season, shit like that. Bali's horrible when it's wet season. But you know, both places, well, anyway, it's horrible when it's wet season really, but right now Thailand's pretty dry. Thailand's a weird one as well. It's different in all the different places as well. So like in Phuket, when it's dry in Phuket, it's wet in Koh Samui, I believe, and then vice versa. When I was in Koh Samui last time, it was hot, and then Phuket was like flooding. And then when I've been in Phuket and it's been hot, Koh Samui's been flooding, even though it's like a 1 hour flight apart and they're both in Thailand. So definitely something to check up on when you go. Looking for longs now is a bit risky in my opinion. No, price is so high, speculation on the dollar. Well, if you look, I'm actually looking to short intraday and go long on the 15 minute. I'm also already long on a swing perspective from all the way down here. Yeah, I said myself, I don't like going long when we're already up here, but my strategy has told me to, since we've had a fresh correction, expansion, followed by another correction, expansion, and then a retest of that as well. So for me, this is a perfectly calculated trade. I've not just seen that price is high and been like, oh my god, I want to buy that. Like, this is a completely methodical entry. There is a chance that it stops out, and I'm completely fine with that, as I am with every trade. Are we placing this, Callum? Completely up to you, mate. This is not financial advice. This is not an instruction to trade. This is just educationally me showing you what I'm trading as a seasoned trader of 8 years. What is the stop loss? Well, mate, hop inside the VIP group and you'll see. Sent that out to everyone. You can always just look at your screen and see what I've see the position that I've marked up, you know. Like I've just said, this is not an instruction for you to buy. This is just what I'm doing. If you are finding trouble in looking at my screen and seeing what the stop loss is from that, I would suggest dropping me a message and I'll send you over our new starters guide to trading. If you're at a level where you're looking at the screen and you don't know what that position is, I'll send you over the guide to trading that we have. Not even like in a stupid way, like it's a valid point. If you don't know what the trade is by looking at the screen right now, I can help you out. I'll send you over the guide which runs through all that for you. Because you don't want to be at a point where you're in a signal group just copy and pasting numbers and you need to be told what the stop loss is in pips and what the exact numbers are. You want to actually learn to be self-sufficient for yourself. So drop me a message, mate, and I'll send you that over. We all started at that point, do you know what I mean? So no disrespect to you, but I'm not going to just read out the levels for you. You can join the VIP group where we do that anyway, and it's £1 a day. So it's not even breaking the bank. It's a great investment. This is entered now. Stops beneath the low. We're looking to trade this higher. We've had this consolidation, manipulation, expansion, and now we've corrected from that, pushing higher. So this is valid, following the good old boss strategy. So we'll see if this pushes us higher to where we need to go. Intraday though, I'm feeling like the opposite. But we'll see. If we do get a close beneath this substructure, I feel like we might wipe out this level and we'll try to catch a short lower. What we could be doing right now is just refilling this 5-minute fair value to then push higher. But you know, it's absolutely pointless trying to guess what's going to happen. You just got to wait to see what does happen and trade the probabilities. Has anyone seen the new Captain America film? I went and watched it yesterday. Let me know. Can you place a buy and sell on the same pair on a funded? You got to check the exact rules. I believe they only have a problem with that when it's a perfect hedge. So like if you open a buy and sell at the same time, like for the same amount, and you try to do like an iron condor strategy, but you'll have to actually look into it, because what we're doing right here is completely different from that. It's two completely different time frames trading, but do your own due diligence, please. So I've saved you a bit of work. Hedging is allowed within the confines of their risk management guidelines, meaning you can open opposite positions on the same instrument to mitigate risk, as we're doing here, but it strictly prohibits cross-account hedging. So if you've got like two different accounts where one of them is completely long and the other's completely short, like imagine if you did that like right before NFP, one of the accounts going to blow, the other's going to make loads of money, so they don't allow that. And any attempt to lock in profits through hedging strategies. So that's where I've said there, if you open a buy and a sell of the same lot size, that is like a perfect hedge, like locking in. That's not what we're doing here. We're trading on two separate time frames. So that's different. So permitted hedging, you can open both long and short positions on the same instrument within a single account to hedge against potential market fluctuations. That is allowed. That's a very professional trading strategy. You see that from, I mean, clues in the name, hedge fund. I was gonna say hedge funds do it. It's bloody in the name. So important considerations. Yeah, there you go. Read it up yourself. Do your own due diligence always, but it's something I do quite often. I'm trading two separate strategies on two different time frames. Yeah, I am in this. This long right now. I'm also eyeing up shorts on the intraday if we do close beneath this. So this is setting up for our intraday strategy. We've got lower lows and lower highs, respecting that EMA. So if this closes down here, we'll be looking to go short on that lower on the 5 minute. So looking at the economic calendar this week, there is like fuck all on. We've got dollar unemployment on the 27th. And that's like the only thing that I would even give respect to. It's a pretty boring week. We've got no news today. We've got some dollar consumer confidence tomorrow. Like, it's a pretty empty week news-wise, so it might be pretty boring this week. End of the month. But yeah, see what happens with this. It's got 1 more minute on this tick candle. It looks, right, there you go, that is closed below. So now I'm looking to go short intraday. And we'll see if we can get this pull back to a key level to trade lower. So now we have a balanced price range here that's formed. That's a level of interest. This is now our breaker substructure. Like that. Anyone that traded that Asian liquidity sweep has now been stopped out. Okay, so this was actually some liquidity for the guys trading that strategy. Obviously, we said not to trade the sweep this time because the Asian range was so directional and just a huge range anyway. It's like 47 pip range. So we're not looking for a sweep in that scenario. Now, we are looking for price to retrace. We'll catch a short from here and sell it lower. Even if we're in longs here and shorts there, that's kind of what we want, ideally. Worst case would be if this just melts off and we don't get to short intraday and then we just get stopped out on this one. That would be annoying, but it's within the accepted probabilities. This is a pretty important zone in price. Let's see where that new low forms. I'm gonna, all this talk about buying and selling in the same direction, I'm gonna send you, because I know you're on Alpha Capital, so I'm gonna send you their page on the rules that talks about hedging, where it says hedging is allowed and is classified as having trades running in both directions on the same instrument at the same time. This means you can have both long, which is buy, and short, sell positions open simultaneously for the same asset on the same account, which is on help.alphacapitalgroup.uk. Then you also have stacking. We're going to go over all this in the course that we bring out, by the way. Hedging and stacking. There's different types of hedging. As I've explained to you here, this is like proper hedging. If you also have a hedge, which I've explained a couple of times now, which is where, let's say, right before NFP, you open a 10 lot buy on gold and a 10 lot sell on gold at the same time. Let's draw some price. Okay, let's say this is price at the moment. What you would be doing is you'd have like a 10 lot or 100 lot buy stop above there and like a fucking 100 lot sell stop beneath there, like that. And the idea would be, obviously it's NFP, so shit would happen where price would just go massively up there, and just completely run through that and hit your stop, and do that, or vice versa, something like that. If it's on NFP, you'd see a huge spread and a huge slippage anyway to make it not worth your while, but also that would be a banned strategy on prop firms because it is basically gambling. You're news trading. Even if you didn't do this on news and you just decided, right, you know what, I'm just going to place something like that and bank on price, like moving one directionally, and you'd catch it either way, that is then a perfect hedge. That's not what we're doing. So if you had a 10 lot buy and a 10 lot sell, and then no matter where price moved, one of them would get the profit and the other one would take a loss. That's like a perfect hedge. You can also do it if you're already in a trade that's massively in profit. Let's say you're in our GU long, here, and you've got 5 lots active on that. If you then suddenly just placed a 5 lot sell, like there, well then, no matter where price moved, your profit wouldn't change, because if this comes back into drawdown, this one's now just making that same amount but as profit if you've got the exact same lot sizes open. So that's when you're like locking in a trade by hedging. What we're doing here is just literally trading 2 separate strategies on 2 separate time frames. Yes, we're trading in different directions, but the lot sizes being placed are different. We've still got 1% on each, but obviously with the stop loss sizes being different, the lot size is going to be different too. And therefore it's completely unrelated trading. What is also a possibility that can happen, and this is why prop firms allow it, because it's not cheating the system at all. What could also happen here is that this gets stopped out and then this gets stopped out on that position. So it's not cheating the system at all. You could actually lose 2% from this hedge. So bear that in mind, okay? Which could happen. It's not like you're cheating anything. So that's an example of hedging in different scenarios. The way that we're doing it is completely fine and professional. The way that prop firms are describing that you can't hedge are just completely gamble strategies, basically, and that's why they don't allow them, because you could get lucky with them. And also it's hard for brokers to deliver that price to you. So if you do have a perfect hedge and you're looking to like news trade, for example, during that news event when price is extremely volatile, the reason they mark up the spreads is because it's hard for them to deliver price to you that quick in a move that volatile. So that's why they would add slippage and add spreads on while that's playing out anyway. But yeah, looks like price is closed beneath this structure. We've also closed beneath the candle, which is nice. What I'm looking for now is I want to see some form of candlestick rejections coming up to this level. If we do have that rejection, I will be short in the pound. Believe it or not. Even though I've just gone long, I am now going to also go short if I have the necessary rejections. Please, please don't ask me why. Just rewind the video like fucking 10 seconds. Great reaction off my entry. 26294. 26294. So I take it you're going long, right? What time frame's that on, mate? You're looking to go long on this, and you've just caught it from down here instead. So that's a nice pin bar on the 15 minute there. we've just got. That's a nice nice sweep off of that low. Let's see if we get this hedge. Yeah, Callum Doyle is looking to go long, in line with this. Caught an entry there. Yeah, nice entry, mate. Nice entry, that is. Must be in the name. So what I want to see from this, so this is reacting from this balanced price range there. I actually want to see this price come up here, somewhere in there, give us some candlestick rejections, and then short this lower on the intraday. See what happens. If we check the euro is broke lower. Again, we've not really got too much wave structure going on here. Broke the Asian low now. So from an intraday perspective, it does look like the pound and the euro will be selling off. So hopefully we can catch some shorts intraday. Nevertheless, this strategy is telling me on my day trading to go long. So even if we get stopped out, I don't give a fuck, because it's a valid trade, so you take them. That's why it's good to have multiple strategies, so you can trade price in both directions from two completely independent strategies. So we've not been given those rejection candles just yet. That's fine. Wait to see what happens. Nothing else going on, to be honest. See if this one plays out. Could get stopped out on this one. See what's happening on the euro. So we had this change of character from the break of structure, break of substructure. That was the final break of character. We did want this to come back down somewhere to our level down here. Didn't. Reacted off the 50% and pushed higher. And now we need to analyze, is this, do we want to class this as a break higher? Because it's immediately evening starred on the 4 hour and came back down. So that is a rejection from that level. So it's not really broke that too successfully. This again reacted off the 50% again and pushed higher. The trade that we're looking at on the pound is basically this move. So we've already got that on the pound. Would be valid on here too, but obviously we don't want to double up on that. Again, I'll make that a different colour so that we're not doubling up there. But if this is our break of structure, this is our break of substructure. Again, you'd want to really trade somewhere in that gap refill, which is basically what we're doing here. Hopefully that stays in. If not, it's not the end of the world. That break of structure is valid to catch a re-entry from. If not, we could be looking at this move being exhausted and coming back down for that retest that we wanted in the first place. Somewhere back down to our levels down here to potentially trade that higher. Apologies, we went on mute there to do some violent sneezing. See if this one stays in. If not, we are looking to go short intraday. Maybe we'll come for that 61 level, looking at the EMA instead of our usual 70s. Got to wait and see, don't we? Let's watch the 50. So yeah, this is also a valid setup on the euro. Euro longs at the moment, setting up. Let's check Aussie. Actually, what's happening with the Swiss? Ah, there we go. So, could have a trade on the Swiss right now. That's broke out. We were waiting on this substructure to break. So now, that's our break of substructure. Let's move that over to the left. And now what we're looking for . Got a fair value there. It's a bit too I've been eyeing up EURUSD, same position. Yeah, EURUSD looks good. I think we'll take that high out. What else have we got? We switch to the 1 minute view, 1 hour view, sorry. There's your fair value that's not been taken out on the 1 hour. Order block being mitigated. It's a bit shallow to enter from. That makes it look better. It's liquidity. There's your 71. So what we have here, structure in this bullish trend, broke out, formed this substructure, came up, broke out. You could actually, let's get rid of that, say that this is your substructure in the form of that correction, which then broke out lower. What that perspective gives us is you would have firstly wanted to take a trade from that retracement, which missed and broke lower. And you'd be calling that a third breaker structure. So this is also a viewpoint. Which I don't like as much, but that is a way of looking at it. If you want in wave structure, this is kind of what we're looking at on the pound idea, is we're looking for this to be the wave. If you notice that, we're looking for this to be the wave. But there's also the overarching whole wave from here to here, which we've mentioned could be a trade afterwards if this one doesn't play out, which would essentially be the difference between, is the reversal going to come from here, or is the reversal going to use that as liquidity, push higher and then come back down. So things to think about. I mean, if we're following Elliott wave structure, the reversal would come from here, because this is your correction. So in order for wave structure to be satisfied, this shouldn't break this high to go lower. But obviously, trading is probabilities, it's not science. That doesn't mean this must happen. It's all just probabilities of things happening. Joe, I'm in a Euro Swiss trade from today. Which way are you going, mate? I don't trade any minors. I just don't like the unnecessary extra spreads on them. We are seeing some rejection on the euro, which is nice. 4 hour is bullish though. I would prefer to mark this out. Check the 1 hour. Yeah, the original position that I said I think is much better. Where that's your fair value. Generated some liquidity there. a bit deep, so I think this is a good option. Could trade that from the liquidity. We're also coming back and retesting that 0.9 level, which is pretty significant, which actually lies bang on the 61.8 of that move. So yeah, support this trade. Interesting. What's happening on the pound then? So we look to have formed a low, somewhat. Touch wood. Looks like the EMA might fall short at like the 61.8. So we might look to trade from there instead. I've got our alert at the 50% level. I mean, that's been mitigated now, so it's not even too relevant anymore. This is our zone of interest. Apologies lads, I'm sneezing again. Horrible whatever this is, it's going around. Just annoying more than anything. Now, one thing I don't want to rule out is the fact that we do have fair value there. So I never like that. Okay. But fair value gaps don't always get filled. Okay, sometimes when fair value is left behind, like there, that's a better example because it has actually been left behind. One thing, like fair value gaps don't guarantee that price is coming back up there. One thing they also tell you if fair value gaps have been left behind, it is the strength of the bears in this scenario. When they haven't been refilled, shows that selling pressure is heavy. So maybe that's the case here if price doesn't come up to tap. But usually I like the scenario where they do get tapped. So I'm probably going to still enter off the 71 with stops actually above the high rather than trying to enter off the 61.8. Let me do my usual disclaimer. Waiting for confirmations before enter. For all them people that join and be like, oh my god, is this a limit order? No. So yeah, wait and see what happens there. Nice support for our day trade. Nice, so we've had a winning trade on gold on one of our automated systems. Let me pop up the VPS, show you what happened there. Hope you can see this. I've not got it on screen just yet. Let me check if you can. Yeah, it should be because it's a display capture. I'm going to try to show you the VPS. There you go. So here's what it looks like. Here's the master account. So we host it on a 5K master account and then just copy that onto our actual MT4 masters. So there, nice little scalp, long there, short there. See there, nice bit of profit. TPs, stop losses, 1 entry per trade. This is our one of our automated systems. It's a breakout strategy. It's got about an 80% win rate. I've been smashing it recently so far this year. Caught a nice scalp up there. As you can see, Midas by Moneda FX. So this is in-house, something that we've built. Uses a stop loss, take profit, and 1 entry per trade. So this is not like those shady bots that you see online that are either a grid system or a martingale system or some combination of both, which will inevitably blow your account. This is something that we've got live verified track records for. Show you everything. We run it ourselves and provide it free to access with a 30% performance fee. So nice little tool. Got a little win this morning. Let me work out what that was. Load up the MT4 master, which hosts on the copy trading apps. So that was 0.883%, that little scalp on Midas Gear 3. And then on high voltage, which is the same strategy, just absolutely cranked up, made for like short-term account flipping. So not something that the high voltage is not something that you put like a lot of money on. We've basically just started it on a £1,000 account, and then we just flip it on high risk, high reward. So we've flipped it 3 times now within the space of 6 months, which is pretty fun. But high voltage has done 2.7% with that trade, which is nice. Let's call it out in the group, show everyone the trade. James, how's your high voltage account getting on? I think you've been on it for a while, right? Must have flipped a decent amount now, depending if you've got it on the full gear. Who else is using high voltage? Let me know. It's a bit of a fun one. $500 to 64 since 17th of December. Right, so you've been on for almost a couple months and done, what's that, 32%? Let me not just fucking guess that. 164 from 500. Yeah, 33%. Yeah, I was going to say 32. 33% in a couple months. Not too shabby. That's with fees. Yeah, so that's 70% of the actual profit. That it's actually done is 500 to 727. So 227 profit on a £500 account. So it's done 45% in 2 months. 22.5% a month average. Not too shabby. Joe, you can, with it being a live stream, you can still rewind the video. And that'll work. You don't have to watch it live. So if you do feel like you've missed anything, you can just rewind it. And then click that live button again, which will take you back to the live feed. It's a little useful YouTube live tip. So, moving a little bit slower on the pound now. We've had the support from this zone. And we want to see if this will give us some rejections as we come up here, signaling a reversal to the downside for us to trade. This will be trading into our stop loss on the day trade, but providing a hedge. So if that does play out, yeah, we'll lose 1% here, but we'll make 3.3% here. And then likewise, if this does provide the rejections and we take a short, but then it stops out, kind of gives us that change of character on this to push higher. Now, there is also the scenario that you have to accept where this gets stopped out and then this gets stopped out, which is fucking annoying. But both trades are valid in their own separate, unique strategy. They're independent of one another. We're not going short here because this is going long, and we're not long here because this is short. They're two unique, independent strategies providing a hedge. So let's see what happens. Still here, everyone. Your stream isn't froze. There's just not much movement right now. We've got some low volume candles. We're already in this long. We're waiting to see if we want to go short intraday to provide a hedge. I'm a little bit ill at the moment, so I'm just kind of sat here on mute rather than saying shit for the sake of it while I'm all bunged up. But yeah, just waiting to see what happens. So yeah, I'll just be on mute while I'm getting some work done on my other monitor. Don't mind me. If you've got any questions, please do drop them. Nothing's a stupid question apart from what would win in a fight between a bear and a shark or anything like that. So please do drop a message and I can get back to you. It really helps because if you're thinking it, someone else is thinking it, and it also provides me with some short form clips that I can post on my socials. So much appreciated if you do have anything to say. Oh, Joe, I knew there'd be someone. I knew there'd be someone. Monday no news price action is normally pretty slow. We did address that at the start of the day. It's also a pretty no news week as well. So yeah, news is one of them funny things. It's something that everyone's a little bit scared of unnecessarily. News is actually good. Like, you want news to push price in your direction. If there's no movement, then there's no money to be made. But then all of a sudden you have a heavy news day and everyone fucking shits their pants. But I guess it depends what time frame you're trading. On the intraday like this, we're seeing plenty of new wave formations within our session. But then when you're on a larger time frame, you kind of need a bit of news to push price. But yeah, on days where there's no news, you'll also see a bit more manipulation as well. But yeah, one thing that I recommend you do is just backtest your strategy, and that helps you get over that fear of news as well, because you can backtest your strategy without factoring news, apart from NFP. Like NFP, I will always avoid, and it's kind of easy to know when it is. Like it's always the first Friday of the month. But when you're backtesting and you're getting your wins and your losses, and you're seeing that you're profitable when you're trading throughout all conditions apart from NFP, and then you start to realize, oh, like US dollar CPI, like why am I scared of that? I've worked out my strategy and how it's performed, like even trading throughout those conditions. But then people come to start live trading and they start trading differently from their backtest, especially when it comes to like avoiding news because they're scared of it. So when it comes to trading psychology around fear and greed, the fear of news is also a thing that I see in traders, which you need to understand how it affects your strategy. For me, I'm not scared of news one bit. I know that I need news to move price. So in weeks like this, when there's hardly any news, I kind of know it's going to be a bit more slower of a week, which I'm not looking forward to. But it's the last one of the month, and then we go again for a new news cycle. Ignore that. So, seeing some action here. We've not had anything for the past half an hour. Just kind of piano keying sideways. What we want to see is price come up here, show some candlestick rejections within our area, give us reasons to take shorts to the downside, making a nice 3.3% from that move. But we'll wait to see what happens. A bit of GDPR. Nah, just some Amazon FBA stuff. Nothing too confidential. Do you trade Bitcoin? What are you up to? No, I don't, mate. I actually don't. I used to have a bit of fun with Bitcoin. I was margin trading it. So I was trading it technically, like from a technical analysis perspective. I mean, from like 2020, I think it was. I've done a whole video on this on my Instagram. If you go on my Instagram highlights, it's the first highlight on the left, which says like no BS. And I'll show you my Bitcoin position that I got on there. I was basically margin trading Bitcoin from 10k up to like 60k, just trading it from the 4-hour swing points. Made a decent bit on that, and then since then I've not bothered with it. I traded the bounce back in like 2021 or 22, can't really remember, very briefly, and then I decided that I just much prefer trading Forex. You don't have to worry about like crypto winters or like any periods where the market ain't moving. Like Forex is so liquid, like it's moving all the time. So yeah, I think a lot of people trade Bitcoin and like want it to work, but like the Forex market's here moving every single day. So I think people just get attached to Bitcoin for like the hype around it that it has online. But Forex is really where it's at. Shit's happening every day. what do we have here? Let's see what's going on. So we've got nice wave structure, lower lows, lower highs. EMA used as resistance multiple times. Fair value gaps left behind, showing us this bearish pressure. We've got this fair value gap that we kind of want to get tapped into. The EMA is a little bit lower. The EMA is coming up to the 61.8 there. So our argument now is, do we take a trade like this, or do we take a trade like this? Okay. The only way that we can really see that is based on where price starts rejecting from. So we do have rejections from this 50%. So maybe we want to look to take a trade off the 61.8. Previously the EMA did get broken a little bit, so it would give us some room for this to happen. But not every time. The EMA has been decently strong. So that's our biggest question right now. Get the calculators at the ready. Hasn't filled the FEG on the previous wave. Yeah, this one hasn't, no. So that tells us that the selling pressure is strong if we've had a break of this without coming back to this fair value gap. So that's not too bad of a sign. It looks like price is coming for that 61.8. Because of how quick this is, I think I will stay strong on having our entry at the 71. In order for that to happen, we need our rejections from the 61.8 at least. So we're still waiting for confirmations before entry. Nothing as of yet, but we will mark out what that trade will look like if it happens. TP1, TP2. And if we get the rejections, we'll be looking to trade that. It's a 9.4 pip per trade. Providing us a hedge against our own day trade. This previous wave, let's check to see what fib levels have been met so far. So from this high to this low, we came up to the 61.8. From this high to this low, we came up to the 61.8. Maybe we will look for a 61.8 here then, instead of the 70. Does seem too shallow, and I don't like doing it that often. Yeah, I think so. Let's look for this. That's a 9.4 again. Let's look to take it. Let's get our levels, stop, entry. TP1, TP2. See if this taps in. So I'm going short from the 61.8, stops well above the 78.6, but not quite above the high when I'm entering on the 61.8. Let's send this trade out. I believe this is a 3R trade, right? Yeah, 3R. There you go. Wait to see if that enters or not. Hopefully we get tagged in. It'd be a shame if we didn't. Callum, have you passed your phase 2 yet? No, unfortunately not. I'm still in profit on it, but not across the line just yet. This month's been a little sideways. We had a profitable week last week. The week before that was negative. The weeks before that have been kind of break even. Not made too much this month. But that's trading for you. It's up and down, ain't it? It's not like we've lost anything. It's just been quite a sideways month. Not too much action. So we've had a inverse hammer from the 50%. Now we have a tweezer top from the 50%. Let's see if we come back up and tap that 61.8 before selling off. So far we've came 0.8 pips from our entry, but not yet tagged in. James, yeah, 0.3 ATM. Yeah, that's alright. Basically, still at a starting point, isn't it? Nothing to worry about. Just break even. I've been pretty break even this month, especially when you add on the fucking prop firm spreads and commissions, and then all the bullshit in terms of getting stopped out when you shouldn't be and shit like that. Prop firm trading, it's something to be careful about. It's not something to put all your eggs into, for sure. It can be a little bit of a pipe dream if you are too heavily invested in it. Definitely worthwhile building up your own personal account, building up some form of like track record. So you see, all of my trading that I do is very track record based, third party verified, FX Blue, my FX book, Darwin X if you're up for it as well. Make yourself a Darwin, and then you can present your trading ability to firms and to people with funds and stuff like that. And that's the best way that you can really scale up your capital. Prop firms can be a little bit of a pipe dream. I've done it before where I've got millions in funding and then some bullshit happens where this prop firm shuts down, regulation shuts down all of this, MetaTrader gets banned from the US and they can't provide this shit anymore. They start saying that, oh, we don't want you to trade on our prop firm because you actually make money and we only want people to lose money so we can pocket their fees or some shit like that. Prop firms, they're not entirely on your side as much as they'd want you to be. What is on your side is when you have a pure A-book system. So something like an investment firm investing in you, or people actually directly making some form of profits when you've got a performance fee type system set up. When it's a win-win scenario, it's always the best. Prop firms aren't entirely win-win because they are going to B-book you to start off with. So when you're making money and getting payouts, that's coming out of their pockets. So there is incentive for them to decline your payouts because it's a loss to them. So I always tell people with prop firms, don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's a bit of a pipe dream if you chase it too hard. Build up your own personal account. Build up a track record that you can present. And that's the best way you can do it. But then, yeah, prop firms, they are good to accelerate your capital. Just be careful with them. Even the top ones, I'm not even talking about like dodgy prop firms. I'm talking about like FTMO and the top guys. The industry is very shaky when it comes to prop firms and regulation. So look at MFF, look at TFT. Even when they're like the top dogs, they're not ruled out of stuff like that. We tapped in yet? No, not tapped in on this just yet. Be patient with it. I've got my limits on the 61.8. The EMA has not been tapped yet directly. Came very close to it. The 61.8 has not been tapped directly. Came very close to it. Just waiting for this to tag in at the moment. Pardon my voice. I am a little bit ill at the moment. Mentally, I'm absolutely fine, sharp as a knife. But I'm just fucking blocked up. And I'm sure it's going round. I'm sure a lot of you guys are sat here with the same issue as well. So yeah, it's got me too. Hi Rio, in terms of high voltage and Midas, drop me a message on WhatsApp and I'll get you sorted with it. Few things have changed, so I just want to confirm that everything gets set up right for you. So yeah, just drop me a message, bro. CM says, what are your thoughts around decreasing risk percentage with every loss and then gradually raising risk with every win? No, I'm very against that. That's an approach similar to gambling, where you're varying your risk each time. It's much better to place a large sample size of small and controlled trades, aka 1% risk every single time over a large sample size, than trying to mess around changing your risk on every time, because each trade in theory is mutually exclusive from one another. What that means is that if I lose this trade, whether the next trade is a win or loss is completely irrelevant to that. So if you have a 50% win rate, for example, the law of averages states that you're going to win 5 and lose 5 out of every 10. But in the short term, the chance of any one trade winning or losing is 50% based on them rules. It doesn't mean that if I've just won 5 trades, I'm going to lose the next 5 trades. That's not how probabilities work. So when each outcome is mutually exclusive from one another, you can't use the event of one of them to predict what's going to happen to the next one. So that approach where you're changing how much you risk based on if you've just won or lost is completely wrong. That's completely out the window. You should risk the same amount on each trade because you don't know which one's going to win and which one's going to lose. If you start varying your risk based on if you're winning or losing, you're going to start risking less on the trades that you win and then risking more on the trades that you lose, because you're throwing off your edge. So yeah, that's my answer to that question for you. Still waiting for this one to tap in? Yes, we are. We've not actually hit the 61.8 level yet. We've just got a few equal in size tweezer top candles showing. You can see the rejection is clear. I'm just waiting to get tapped in. Yo, so I'm going to fact check myself. I said mutually exclusive. I said the wrong thing. I meant independent. Any two trades are independent from each other if you're executing them correctly. So if you have a 50% win rate and 5 win, it doesn't mean that the next 5 trades are going to lose. if you have a 50% win rate and one trade loses, it doesn't mean the next one's going to win. Whether one trade wins and one trade loses is completely independent of one another. So that's why we risk 1% per trade, because you don't know just because if one trade wins or loses what the next one's going to be. All trades are independent of one another if you're following the strategy correctly. So mutually exclusive was the wrong term, okay? So price is selling off. We've not been tapped in yet. I'm still keeping my limit open. I'm still keeping strong. I always let price come to me. I never chase price. We're already entering on the 61.8, which is like the deepest that I'll go to enter. We've not hit that. We've also not even hit the EMA yet. So for anyone thinking, like, oh shit, price is selling off, like, don't get scared. Be patient. You see this a lot of times where it'll come here and then it'll just wipe all the early sellers out and come back down, meanwhile tagging us in. So I'm really not scared. We've got a decent hour left in our trading range to get an entry. I'm just staying patient and waiting for this to tag in, if it is going to tag in. Come like 12:30, so like an hour. If we're still not tagged in, I will just close the limit. So that's the situation we're dealing with this. So we had this huge candle, which has matched these previous highs. Still not hit the 61.8 level. We are seeing some initial rejection from the EMA, which is what we want, but we've not actually came up and broke it to wick into that 61.8 just yet. So unfortunately still not got an entry here just yet, but stay patient. Stay patient with it, just follow the strategy. Have you looked at the Luxargo Smart Money Concept Indicator? I believe I have, mate. If it's the one that I'm thinking of, where you have like an RSI type line on the bottom, and then something on the main screen. I can't think what it is. I believe I tried it out a couple of years ago, and it didn't really work too well. It went through a period of working well at first, and then it just completely just started taking way too many losses. I felt like it wasn't enough to trade from. If that's the one that I'm thinking of, but obviously this is going back a couple of years now, so it might be different to the one that you're thinking of. We've got a pretty cool indicator coming out soon, which is compatible with the strategy tester function, because it's actually Pine script, whereas that one that I tried out a couple of years ago from Luxalgo wasn't. It just simply said like buy here, sell here, didn't really give any levels and shit. But yeah, got some really good announcements in terms of the Pine script code that we're doing at the moment, so keep your eyes peeled for that. So that candle's closed, and we can see the rejection from that 50 EMA. So you can see the idea is right about using this EMA as resistance. We've had plenty of confirmation. We just need that to tap the 61.8 level for that final entry point to trade this lower. So hang in there, stay patient. If you try catch it like down here, your risk to reward is just terrible, not worth it. So do wait for that pullback. If we don't get it, then it's not a trade. Right, so I'll give it another half an hour for an entry. Still not got in this yet. All of our confluences have been hit apart from that final 61.8 entry. So we're not in this trade yet. Got about another half an hour left of the trading range. If we're not entered within half an hour, I'm just going to close the limit. We're currently in this day trade, long. We're just currently looking to sell it on intraday for a nice hedge. But obviously if we don't get tagged into that short, it just leaves us without a hedge and just purely in the long direction. The long direction looks good right now on the 15 minute, okay? So we're already in this long from down here, pinpoint entry. We've taken TP1 out, we've taken TP2 out, so we've just got the last 25% of that position running. In line with that, we've just stacked the trade. So what we're seeing here is we saw this triple top and triple bottom act as a sort of consolidation. This is your classic flat range, okay, printing equal highs and equal lows. What happened was the lows got swept, providing liquidity into the market for a nice boost, broke out of this structure, price had a nice ABC correction lower. We broke out of that ABC correction, closing higher, so now we're looking to take a trade from the retracement of this wave, filling in imbalance to push price higher. So very nice textbook trade. Whether it wins or loses, we can guarantee this one is valid, so it doesn't really matter. We've got nice candlestick rejection, retesting this breakout of substructure there. We've got our stops beneath the low, so I'm happy with this one. It would have been nice to catch this hedge. Hopefully we still have time to enter, because also this is valid too. So what we have here, just to summarize, is we have this Asian range. This Asian range today was purely one directional, and it was a huge range as well, about 47 pips I believe, yeah, 47 pip Asian range with a clear direction. So we didn't look to trade the sweep. Okay, the sweep needs a bit of context behind it. With the Asian sweep, you kind of want to see that it's like bound between a range, printing a high and a low. Therefore, you would sweep one side of it to push higher. But if you purely have a one directional Asian range like this, it doesn't really apply the same. So what we saw today was the Asian sweep fake, change of character higher, but then it stopped out all the people that blindly sell that as like a mechanical rule-based strategy. So they've all got stopped out today. With this close beneath this structure, we're looking on the intraday perspective from this strategy for price to come back up, make a higher low, and then make a lower high and then trade lower. We're looking for the EMA to act as resistance again. We're looking for our key fib level to be used as resistance, and we're looking for classic Elliott wave lower low, lower high structure to play out. All of that has proven true, apart from we've not actually hit that final 61.8 level yet. We've came within 1 pip of it twice, this high and this high, but we've not yet managed to get an entry. So don't chase the position, don't try and like manually execute here, because that is a shit trade. So if the trade's going to hit 61.8, it's going to hit 61.8 and we'll get tagged in. So just stay patient, keep your limits on. I'm going to stay trading this for like another half an hour. If we're not tagged in by then, I'm just going to delete the limit, and then we're purely just exposed buy side to longs. So either way, we'll see what happens, and see if it plays out within the next half an hour. So we're still not entered. We've got about 12 minutes left of the range to see if we're going to enter or not. So let me adjust this. I'm not chasing the trade at all. I'm letting it come to me. I want to get an entry from that 61.8, and I'm very stubborn on that. If I don't get it, I don't get it. I'm not going to go chasing it and ruin my RR. We're already at a 3, which is like my minimum. So if we get tagged in, we get tagged in, and that's good. But if it, we've already had 2 instances where we've been just like 0.8 pips away, and we've not chased the entry. So it's 61.8 or nothing, and we've got about another 11 minutes before I just cancel the limit completely. Okay, so we've got 2 minutes left in the trading range. We've not yet tapped in. I'm very doubtful that we will tap in this next 2 minutes. You can see that the idea of the trade is valid. We have the EMA being used as resistance once again. We've got lower low, lower high, wave structure. We have the idea of London and the Asian session that we always go off of, looking to be playing out. This move here is also resistance from this previous Asian low, which is now broke beneath and being used as resistance to push lower. Unfortunately, we didn't get our final confluence, which was to enter from the 61.8 fib. I won't enter any deeper than this. It's just not worth it for me. So this would have gave us a free R risk to reward. We've stopped comfortably above that inefficiency fair value gap there. I'm not going to go any deeper than that. So I'm not one to chase trades. I wouldn't suggest you do the same either. Here is an example where we just didn't get tagged into the trade, and that's completely fine. I've stuck to the rules and that pays off long term. Okay, so it looks like this trade is selling off without us. We've got a triple top there, so we just got to see what happens. I'm going to cancel my limits. There we go. And I'm also going to spread the word for the VIP to cancel limits as well, because price looks to have taken off without us. Well, not just that, but it's more so that we've now hit 12:30, which is the very end of my intraday trading session. So, cancel limits. Just spread the word. There we go. Bosh. And there we go. So I'm not entering on this trade. It's just too late in the day to intraday trade this. So I'm out of that position. There we go, just like that. You can see the idea was right, but it just didn't meet all of our requirements, so no entry. We are long on this, so hopefully it doesn't sell off. We are long on this from a day trade perspective. We've got New York open in half an hour, so we'll see what that does for the trade. But yeah, this one is still valid, and we're just around about break even. We're still floating on that entry point for this. We've got decent wick action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wick bottom side candles, all showing support from that previous resistance, as well as the break of substructure acting as support as well. So plenty of confluences here. We've not managed to close below the 78.6 yet, which is a good sign. So this trade is playing out perfectly fine so far. Let's see what happens within the New York session today with this one. But thanks for everyone for tuning in. If you do like these videos and find them very educational, please drop a like on the video to show your support. Feel free to ask me any questions that you want, and I'll get them answered using my trading experience. But until then, I'll see you next time, guys. Have a good one.